The magic run at Mullett has come to an end. Sean is dancing behind the Mac. He may or may not be insufferable tonight, but we'll see how this goes. Thank you all so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes postgame show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Steve Peters. Craig will be calling in from Mullett Arena shortly. We don't know if he has headphones or not. There's some confusion that we have to address. Oh my goodness, I think the Bills just won.
The Buffalo Bills. No one, and I mean no one, circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
I didn't really see those Vikings today. Just saying.
Sean may be the most insufferable person throughout the show. Of course, Sean is behind the Mac tonight. A Sabres win, a Bills win, but a Coyotes loss. However, a 5-2 score I don't think was fully representative of how this game went along. Those last two goals were empty net goals for the Sabres. Petey, what are your initial reactions?
It's a 3-2 game against the highest scoring team in the National Hockey League. I'm okay with that. It was 2-2 for most of the game. It was a tight game all the way through. I liked it. And we're talking about keeping it exciting till the very end. I mean, Michelli's got virtually an open net when they pulled the goalie to make it 3-3. He just misses the net, and they come back with the two. I mean, the only people happy with the two empty netters are the guys that were betting the over. Other than that, I mean, it's a 3-2 hockey game. So I think it was a great game. And I know you want to see them keep the winning streak alive at the Mullett. They win 3 straight, looking for 4. I'm happy with the performance today. I think that was a really good effort again. And like we said last night, it's somebody different stepping up again tonight.
Yep, absolutely. So lots to get into for this one. We've had Barrett Hayton finally get on the score sheet. Shayne Gostisbehere get on the score sheet again tonight for his second goal in 2 games. But before we do, let's just dive into the numbers tonight, because once again, the Coyotes kind of came close, at one point, to outshooting their opponent. However, Buffalo outshot the Coyotes 41-30. Both teams had success on the power play. Coyotes power play finally, to quote Tyson Nash, got one in the back of the net tonight. Yeah. Buffalo, unfortunately, though, 2 for 5 on the power play. So whereas the Coyotes penalty kill was a little bit stronger last night than tonight. But what stands out to you from
one thing
stats?
Here, we're talking about shots on goal, and it's relatively close, I guess.
They outshot them in the second.
And the big thing for me is they got 30 shots on goal. And we're how many games into the season? This was game 29. They've only done it 2 other times this entire season.
That's crazy.
That's a huge benchmark for this team. And I keep saying that they're going to have to start getting more shots on goal if they want to create offense. And you got 30 shots on goal. And I think we were both sitting here watching going, it could have been more. Like there were still times when they're between the hash marks or the top of the circle, and this team is looking for another play or looking for one more pass. And I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they would just shoot the puck, because if you look at how they're scoring their goals, even the goals against, it's bouncing off people or it's a rebound and the puck lays in the crease. I mean, what did Gretzky say? You don't score on 100% of the shots you don't take. So shoot the puck. And that was the only thing. But again, 30 shots on goal and the penalty kill given up 2, that's a little bit frustrating. See, I don't get to see the chat. I can't keep up.
Sean's getting roasted in the chat.
Oh, he'll take it and he'll wear it.
Yeah, we don't.
Both his teams won. I don't know what.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
I can't touch me right now.
He'll be out.
I also won money on the DraftKings.
Yeah, Chris and Sean both won money on DraftKings tonight because of.
I did like the Tage over too. Like he was a goal and a half or a point and a half.
Sean, you had Tage anytime goal scorer and Sabres money line, right?
I did. I was going to parlay. I was going to add Buffalo or Bills money line to that, and I didn't get it in time, so I just had that.
Oh.
$20 down, got paid out $50 and some change. I will take it.
Shots fired by blatantly asinine, though.
That's what I was acknowledging when we were laughing before.
Wow.
But
I'm feeling cute right now. No one can stop me.
There's nothing you can say to Sean right now. I promise.
He'll be okay.
I promise. But let's talk about the power play a little bit more, Petey, because speaking of, oh my God, just shoot the puck, we had a few moments of frustration watching this power play tonight.
Yeah, and when they finally do score, all it is a shot from the blue line with traffic and fun. And that's twice now. I think Gostisbehere has scored on the power play in the last couple of games where the goaltender doesn't see the puck. It's Ritchie in front or Bukestad in front. it's an easy formula. And I know the other player we're looking at in front of the net on the other group was Travis Boyd. And I thought he did a great job in front of the net, digging out pucks, retrieving pucks, and screening, tipping in front of the net. I thought he did a great job, and I thought he came close a few times on that power play. I like Clayton Keller back on that right side. We've said that too, but again, it came down for me the opportunity to take shots, and they're just not taking them. And I think if you want to be successful on a power play that's struggling to score goals, it's all about shooting the puck. It's a 2-pass. We used to have a rule, 2 or 3 passes depending on the night, and somebody's got to shoot the puck. Like there's no more like that 5-on-3.
Oh my gosh,
the 5-on-3
was frustrating.
The momentum can change on the 5-on-3. If
well,
you can
literally
put them
when
away.
they went on the 5-on-3, they had it was 52 seconds. That's almost a full minute, and I literally looked at you and I said, "This could be the turning point."
And it should have been or could have been, but again, they didn't get the shot on goal. And it wasn't even like a lot of 5-on-3s. You'll see a goaltender make 2 or 3 unbelievable saves, and they're all over him, and there was all this pressure. And I just didn't feel that for the Coyotes. It didn't feel like there was a threat to score at any time in the 5-on-3, and that's too bad because that's they could have expanded their lead, and they could have got that game out of reach if they can score 1 or 2 on that power play, and that could have been a completely different game. So again, it's simplifying and shooting the puck, or at least building momentum. Sometimes you run into a hot goalie that can make those saves. Tonight wasn't that night. They just didn't get shots through. At 5-on-3, you shouldn't get a shot blocked 5-on-3. Turns out you have 2 more players.
Yeah.
So you just got to find the open guy, and that was a little bit frustrating. So that's disappointing because that's an area of the game that could have made a difference tonight.
Yeah, and Chris said they just don't have that shoot first mentality, which, oh my gosh, Clayton Keller like pulls up, and you think, oh my God, he's gonna shoot, and then he passes it, and then pass gets intercepted. Oh my God, like and it's not to bash on Clayton Keller because he's been scoring the last few games. I think he scored 5 goals in the last 2 games before this. So it's not a full knock on his ability to score goals, but just in terms of the team's overall ability to get shots on net and score, especially on the power play. They did score on the power play tonight though.
But again, it was just the formula we just said: get it back to the point and shoot.
Yeah.
And one of the things when you want to shoot on the power play, you want to take the shot from the middle of the ice from the blue line. That's the place where you want to take your shot, for the middle of the ice, and you want to have traffic in front. And you go through the league and see how many power play goals. And there's Zibanejad and Pasternak and Ovechkin that are going to score on that circle. But when you're scoring and generating, you generate from the top of the ice. So shoot the puck from there. And the other guy that's trying to do that is Jacob Chychrun. And you look at his stats again, it's 6 attempts. He tries, and then he finally gets a good look at the top of the power play, and his stick breaks. So it's just it's frustrations like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to come here and saying I'm frustrated. It's a hell of an effort against a good team.
We're getting the negative out. We're clearing
it's not even negative. It's just you had opportunities on the power play that could have made a different outcome of this game, but you still battled till the very end, and you played against a high-powered offense. I won't say a good team, Sean. Sorry. They're not a playoff team right now, but they're a high-powered offense. Yeah. So it's a team that gives up goals, but they score, and you had an opportunity to spread the lead a little bit, and you didn't do that.
Yeah, we have a $1.99 super chat from Drew Gebs. Thank you, Drew. He said, "I'd like to point out the game was tied before Sean left for the show." #lame. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And it's so funny because Sean literally got here midway through the third, sat down, and then Tage Thompson scored, which. Great, but also sucks that Sean couldn't see that one in person. But.
And shout out to Drew and CWP, and there were a lot of
Sean saw a lot of
PHNX reps out
crew
there,
at
some
the
Diehards
Mullett.
At the Mullett.
Can confirm.
Yeah, so we'll get Sean's take on his experience tonight in just a little bit. But let's dive into your keys, Petey, because they once again. They always relate to how the game unfolded because you usually nail it with your keys.
See, one of the things on the rush, and if you go back, and it's even the big goal by Barrett Hayton, it's off the rush. This team, because of the way they generate their offense, sometimes they forget to defend, and they turn over pucks at their blue line. So I was hoping that they would create some odd man rushes, and Barrett Hayton goals prove that. So give that one a check. Power up. One of the worst teams in the NHL on the penalty kill. And that's where we talked about this team not being a playoff team. It's because they can't defend and they can't stop goals on the penalty kill. Coyotes get a power play goal, so I'll take that one. Goaltending. This is the number 1 scoring team in the league with the number 2 scoring individual player in Tage Thompson. I thought Ingram was good.
Yeah, and as far as Ingram's games that he's been in, he's had a few really, really tough games this season. Not always his fault. This was one, and the final score, the 5-2, that's not a reflection of Ingram
Absolutely
because
not.
2 of those were empty net goals. So really it was a 3-2 game with Ingram in net. He did what he needed to do. That it wasn't on him. And so
I say that it's a 2.5 keys. I think they did their job tonight, and I think they've really tried to hit all the keys. So I'm saying, again, I think this is a successful game. The couple frustrations for me is I know when we started this off this season, all summer long and in August and October, we're talking about the tank and Bedard. But when they win 3 in a row, like Mullett, you kind of get excited and you want to see that keep going. Like we looked, Leah and I looked before the game at the last time they did this, where they won 4 in a row at home, was February of 2019. It's a long time. And you just, it's kind of a fun thing when you get things rolling. So it was disappointing they couldn't keep that streak going. I know we could keep the rebuild in mind, but they're playing good against good teams at the moment.
Yeah, I think there's also that feeling of I have this where I base my whole opinion sometimes on how something like immediately ended. So if the game was 3-2 and there wasn't an empty net goal, and instead the Coyotes were shooting, and then they, the final buzzer goes, they couldn't get it done. I would feel like maybe a little less deflated than we both, I think, kind of feel right now, because not only like the one empty net goal, it's like, oh, okay, well, this one's over.
It's over.
Then it's like the second one, really.
Yeah.
So
I always wonder why they pull it. And I guess there was enough time left, but you go, okay, you gave up the empty net. Let's ride this one out.
I know.
It's like calling timeout in a basketball game. You're down by 10 with
which, by the way,
seconds.
just a quick aside, we had the Suns game on one TV, which shout out Devin Booker, by the way. And we had our game on the other TV. And the clock for the Coyotes game was at 6, and the clock for the Suns game was at like 1:15.
Yeah.
Both things, it took 5 minutes. 5 minutes of game clock for the Coyotes to finish the Suns game. So
unbelievable.
That's why hockey is better. But that's
just one of the reasons.
Are we done being negative for the time being?
And I don't think we're trying to be negative.
No, but I feel like
I saw somebody, Chris in the chat, said something about Michelli in the shot, and you look at, he does need to be a shoot first guy. Just think if he shot more like that, maybe.
Well, he had 2 good looks at the end.
Yeah. He had one on the power play from behind the net on a wraparound, and then he has the pulled goalie shot from the slot, and the goalie doesn't see it. Anderson's not looking. I mean, it's just, those little, it's just inches. It's a game of inches, and that's just too bad. And Michelli, again, high end skill. I just hope he starts taking advantage of his shooting the puck.
Kenny said Sean would have called it had there not been empty net goals last night. He said 3-2 Buffalo with a Tage game winner, if I recall.
Is that a true story?
Is that true?
I don't pay attention.
I said yesterday, just because it would have been, it's a prime situation, right? The Coyotes make it interesting. Yep. Tage gets the game winner. I did say that. And I was almost kind of right.
I really didn't hear that, but I don't pay attention to Sean.
Okay, and A-Root said Sean. Soccer's the best because there's no commercial breaks or time stoppages, but we're always stopping as someone's on the ground being dramatic.
Wait, we're making a soccer comparison. I mean, the World Cup Championships tomorrow morning, so fair, but...
Fair enough.
No, I'm not going to do it because I'll get haters. If anybody says, what's the score in a soccer game, just say 0-0 and you're probably right. 0-0. It's 0-0.
Sean Stradamus.
Okay,
Love
sorry.
It. No, I'm good. Okay, we're done. We're letting go of the negative critiquing energy. I know. By the way, chat, please keep us posted on whatever the side counter is, because I've completely lost track.
They're heated over there.
I don't know if they're heated angrily or happily, but we'll get to that in a second. Anywho, let's talk about the positives from this game. We'll start with Shayne Gostisbehere, who scored again tonight, this time on the power play. Last night, it was seconds after the power play expired. We already talked a little bit about how that goal came to be, but that was his 8th goal of the season, and 2 in 2 nights. He's kind of back in the mix here. Yeah,
and he's second on the team in scoring. He leads all defensemen in scoring for the Coyotes, and he's a guy that's going to, with this offensive output, and he's doing it on the power play, only helps his trade value. This is a guy that you look at whose contract's expiring at the end of the year, and you go, veteran guy, he's been around the league, adds offense. I think this helps improve his stock right now, and I don't know as more defensemen get down. I know Jacob Chikrin's name comes up a lot, but I think as we get closer to the trade deadline, I think you're going to hear about the Ghost a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's good because he was really quiet for a good stretch there, and I thought, with the way the season started, with him and Richie being amazing and productive, we thought, oh, this is perfect for what Bill Armstrong probably plans to do with those two at the trade deadline. And then both of them kind of took cooled off and took a step back. And I was getting a little concerned. So it's great to see Ghost kind of back in the action there. 8 goals, great for him. He had, I think it was a career high last season, if not his second best year. But he continues to be productive here in Arizona. Just, some players come here and it works for them.
And it did. We talked about the same thing, a change of scenery getting to Arizona. That's exactly what Richie did when he first got here. And he got hot, and he was hot at the end of last season and the beginning of this season. And I tell you what, he is stone cold. Like he was taken out of the lineup tonight. You look at his line; he has no shots on goal. He's not a factor in the game right now. He ends up being a +1, but no goals, assists, no points, and no shots.
Yeah.
I hope he can start to get back to where he was before. I know he's not getting the ice time that he had before. He played just under 12 minutes when he was playing probably closer to 16, 17 earlier in the year. I hope he finds a stride again, because he's a guy that I thought would be towards the top of this team in the scoring race, and also being a guy that might be on the trade block and have some trade value by the trade deadline. I said trade 3 times in like 5 seconds.
To be just for some context here, we're trying to concentrate as we hear Saul and Espo
literally screaming in the other studio.
It's very hard to not be distracted by them right now.
Guess.
I don't know why the Suns
so
won
angry?
And Devin Booker scored 57.
Why they're so angry?
58.
We're happy.
I don't know.
Kind of happy.
I don't
know.
I
hope he picks it up. I hope to see Nick Ritchie get it going.
But Chychrun, again, a point tonight. Schmaltz, another assist after getting 3 last night. Those two continue to be productive since they've been back in the lineup.
And you talk about ice time. Chychrun is over 22 minutes. Last night he didn't play as much. Tonight he's 22 minutes. Schmaltz is over 20 minutes. They're logging a lot of ice. They're getting points. And I talked about Chychrun shooting already. Like, he's got to be a guy that's going to start getting recognized. And I know we had Craig on last night when he joined, and he said, no, it's kind of cooled down. He's putting up the numbers he needs to put up to be a valuable trade asset.
Absolutely. I'm going to comment on the Suns stream that I can hear them screaming, and it's distracting us.
Yeah.
We can hear you screaming.
Keep it down.
And it's distracting us.
Exactly.
The Coyotes crew. LOL, just, so they don't take too much offense. All right, well, let's talk about some other positives for tonight, and that's Barrett Hayton.
Well, yeah.
This is, obviously the positive of the night, because Barrett Hayton finally scored his first goal of the season after, what game was this, 29?
29.
That's just... not good enough for a 5th overall draft pick. And somebody tweeted at us.
That's a good stat.
I will give them credit in just a second once I scroll down and find it. But
because it's a real stat.
Yes. So this was Ticklish Licorice. Great name on Twitter. Weird stat. This is the first goal of the season for either the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th overall picks in the 2018 draft.
And of course, I'm a doubting Thomas, so I didn't believe him. And so I went to the stat sheet, and
it's correct.
Absolutely correct.
And then they followed up and said, and the 9th overall only has 1.
Yeah, so it's...
If that makes you feel any better.
And I think we've talked about this about Barrett a lot. There's so much more pressure because he was the 5th overall pick in that draft. And then people say, well, he's a 5th overall pick. He should be this. He should be that. Well, look at 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, it's not about that. It's about, can he fit in a role and play an everyday role in the National Hockey League? And we said he can. Like, he's killing penalties right now. His face-off percentage is solid. He can win draws. He's a defensive guy. He's doing a lot of things asked, and he's playing every night. So, yeah, you're right. 1 goal through 29, the expectations are higher. But I think it all goes back to him being expected because he's the 5th overall pick. I do also believe now, though, you could see his face after he scored, and how relieved he was to get that weight off his shoulders.
Yeah, oh my God. He looked like he had just scored the overtime game-winning goal, like the smile on his face. Seriously, couldn't be happier.
And so now it's now that pressure is a little bit less.
Yeah.
And you could see it coming tonight. Like, he had, a couple of scoring chances early. He had a lot of shots on goal tonight.
5 shots on goal.
You just felt it was coming.
Yeah.
So good for him.
He was in on it and had a couple more chances in the game, too, even after his goal. So congratulations to Barrett Hayton for finally getting on the score sheet tonight, and that is why Barrett Hayton is, of course, our DraftKings king of the game. How could he not be? His first goal of the year, like we said, and also 5 shots on goal worth mentioning as well. So congratulations to Barrett, and we hope this is the first of many. Sometimes you just need one to get the floodgates open. We've seen that before, and not just in hockey, like in anything in life. Sometimes you build, like, you have to build confidence by being successful in the thing you're trying to be confident about. So if this goal tonight can help him just build this confidence and move forward, and because he should be, like we said, he's the 5th overall pick in 2018. This is what they drafted him to do. I mean, we've seen him have success in the face-off circle. That's kind of been his strong point this season as far as contributing to the overall team. But he really should be part of that group. Like, he should be what Nick Bukestad is.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, kind of like that. So I mean, we're really happy for Hayton.
Yeah, and he's a guy you root for.
Yeah,
his teammates root for him. Teammates like him. He works hard. He does everything right. He's a quiet kid. That he's a good pro. And everybody's. I'm sure that you could see the excitement on the guys on the team, and you know, guys like a guy when they react like that when he scores. I did see someone in the chat before, and I know I'm not good at this. Talking about Jenik.
Yes.
And what our thoughts were of Jenik. It's hard to tell. He played 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes. He took 2. So if you play under 4 minutes and you take 4 minutes in penalties, that's bad.
Yeah.
And when you come from the American League, you need to have value on the bench or a value to the roster. And when you're sitting in the penalty box, you don't add value. And I said this about Jenik before. He plays on the edge. He plays hard. He's a disturber. Like, he's a little bit of a rat, and he's irritating to the opponents. You have to find that fine line where you can still keep that edge to your game, but you're not sitting in the penalty box all the time.
Yeah.
And we saw it. Michael Bunting was like that in the American League. Connor Garland was like that in the American League. And at some point, you got to go, okay, I'm more valuable on the ice than I am in the penalty box. It's important to keep that edge of your game and still be an irritating player. It's fine, but you can't be in the box all night.
Yeah.
And you're going to limit your minutes when you do that in the American League. And somebody's going to get another chance because we can't play Jenik. He's going to end up in the penalty box.
Yeah, I know. And I just hope that this, it was his first game of the season, I believe. So, a lot of nerves there. It's hard to adjust to the NHL game speed. So maybe for him, he can take this one away, kind of put it aside, take from it, and then do better next game. Because he obviously got, he didn't get the minutes that he probably wanted, probably for good reason.
And somebody's going to get a chance, because if we're hearing O'Brien's week to week, there are going to be many games where they're looking for someone to fill that spot. I don't know what Cassian's situation. I can't wait to talk to Craig about that, because if Cassian is truly healthy and you're calling up Jenik to jump into that role, so I know there are going to be guys getting opportunities. If O'Brien's week to week, guys are going to get chances to play. So you can't sit in the penalty box when you finally get your chance.
Yeah. Well, before we bring in Craig,
sorry,
Craig, I'm going to leave you in the green room for just another minute. But we talked earlier in the show about Sean winning some money on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Chris in the chat also won some money betting on the Sabres, and you can too on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you bet on Devin Booker points, you probably crushed it. And there's one more game of the World Cup left you can bet on tomorrow. So do that now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up with the code PHNX. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game. You get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code PHNX only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I did not prep anyone for this, so I'm putting everyone on the spot. Does anyone have a DraftKings pick of the week?
I do.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
I mean, obviously, the ones that I would have normally picked happened today.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't pick the Bills.
Tomorrow, no Sabres to pick, so I'm going with the next best thing. The wagon that is the Arizona State men's basketball team. They play San Diego tomorrow night at 5. Minus 12.5. Big spread, but I think they're going to dominate a bad San Diego team. So my DraftKings Sportsbook pick of the week is Arizona State men's basketball minus 12.5 at minus 110. Yep.
All right, there you have it. Sean's DraftKings pick of the week. And by the way, Sean was on fire on DraftKings tonight. So if you want to tail him, you should do that on DraftKings for that pick of the week. And by the way, we're all sitting there watching. Like I said, we had Coyotes on one screen, Suns on the other. And on the other, we had the Buffalo Bills game. Mm-hmm. And it was snowing.
Yep.
And Sean kept pointing and saying, there's nowhere else you'd rather be but there. And I said, I'd rather be here in this recliner.
Same.
Because I mean, Petey and I were chilling in the recliners. There's literally nowhere else I'd rather be but the more furniture recliners.
Agreed.
And when we do these post game shows from home, like I'm actually upset that I can't watch the game I'm not even exaggerating. I really need to get one. So if anybody is watching this and not
Christmas is
not
coming.
the people in the chat, this is for like my family.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah, Christmas is here. So if you want to buy me a recliner, you can check out the More Furniture holiday clearance event happening right now. You can save up to 50% off at More Furniture. So definitely check that out. All right, we've kept Craig waiting long enough. Sorry, Craig.
It's glowing Craig again.
It's glowing Craig.
Not quite as bad.
Not so bad. Just one magical streak.
I think it's his personality.
He just brings... Okay, so
Craig
comes wearing a headset. So Craig, there's been a little bit of a headphone gate. We have to know what's going on.
Well, it's nice that my wife exposed me last night, that I lost headset number 1 somehow under the couch in our bedroom, and I didn't see it there. So I was on headset number 2 last night, which I broke. And by the way, we almost had another headset mishap tonight. I don't know if DP has revealed this. He's probably still gloating about his Buffalo win, so he probably hasn't told you what happened with his AirPods tonight.
Oh, he told me.
Yes.
Okay. So
but he can tell the chat.
I'm going to tell my version first. Yeah, that's Sean's version. I saw him throw him into the crowd. So, yeah.
Drafts have been figured out.
There's 2 sides, and then there's the truth somewhere.
So are these the original headsets?
Yeah, these are the originals.
We didn't know that.
I thought you stepped on the originals.
So did I.
Oh, stepped on a backup. And thought I was going to have to go home and say, I need number 3. But fortunately, as my wife told everyone in the chat.
In the chat, right after you left, just throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, exactly. Threw me under the bus after I left, too. I wasn't even here to defend myself. So there it is. But yeah, I have a working headset tonight, so we can talk about the game or whatever you want to talk about.
I guess we should talk about the game, Craig. The magic run at Mullett finally comes to an end, but it wasn't all bad. What were your kind of takeaways from the night?
I mean, the energy wasn't great on this back-to-back. You guys saw the game. It was a little sloppy. It was a little slow, and there were a lot of penalties, as Petey would say, or as Andre Tournier would say. Yeah. There were a lot of penalties in this game, and what Andre said after the game is, you look at all those penalties, not one of them was a good decision, not one of them was necessary. They were stick penalties. They were guys being out of position or guys reaching, guys not moving their feet, so you don't like to see that. Obviously, they got a big power play goal from Tage Thompson tonight to win this one. That was the deciding goal, but just too many penalties. Just can't have. What's DP doing there?
No, but those are tired penalties too, Craig, that you talked about. And that's what happens on a back-to-back. And you
they better buckle up though, because have you looked at the January schedule?
I know. You think you're tired now?
Back-to-back.
Oh boy, howdy.
Saturday, Sunday, 3 straight weeks.
Yep, it's
4 weeks of back-to-backs, but 3 weeks of Saturday, Sunday back-to-backs.
And Craig, when you talked about the Tage Thompson goal, I tell you what, Connor Ingram makes an unbelievable save a second before that, and it's just unfortunate that puck ends up on the stick of Tage Thompson. Otherwise, that's a hell of a flurry, and they stop the penalty kill and survive it. But I thought Connor Ingram was good, even though they end up with the loss.
Yeah, he was really good tonight. I thought he played well and probably deserved something out of this. But what did you guys think of Tage Thompson? I mean, we saw him obviously on TV in the game in Buffalo, but I got to see him up close tonight. There were a couple plays. The thing that jumps out for me about him, he's a really big man. Good Lord, he has good stick skills.
Oh my God, when he's stick-handled between his feet.
Yeah. He is. Puck skills at that size are absolutely elite. And when we were doing our research for the game, and you see he's second in the league behind Connor McDavid in goals.
I didn't realize that because, Craig, I think you had tweeted Tage Thompson's 25th, and I said, 25th goal? Like, I literally had to pull up stats, and then Petey was like, yeah, he's only behind McDavid.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
And you go back and look at his history. I mean, he's a guy that went to a smaller,
Arizona-born,
University of Connecticut.
Home.
I know, University of Connecticut's not a huge hockey school. And you go, okay, and he gets to the minors. He gets a 1 goal in his first 16 games of the Wolves. 1. He's on pace right now. Craig, do you want to know what the pace is? Because I did math. I actually pulled out a calculator and did math. You know what he's on pace for? 66. He's on pace for 66 right now. If he stays
amazing.
healthy. Matthews
for a
had
UConn guy
60.
especially. I mean, if he
Matthews
went to
had
Minnesota, you would understand it.
Exactly. If you went to Minnesota or North Dakota, I would have got it. But his ability at his size to move the puck as well as he does and make the plays he can make at his size is absolutely. He's one of the guys in this league that I would pay to watch play. He's that good. He's that entertaining. He's that offensively gifted. I don't know where the ceiling is. He got 38 goals last year. He's clearly going to blow that away. He's got 26 already or 25 already. He's so much fun to watch. It just would be interesting to see if he can help this team finally make it to the playoffs. And they still got deficiencies on the back end, goaltending, penalty kill. Do. You know, they can win 7-6, I guess, but I don't think they're there. They're ahead of the Coyotes with their draft picks. They're a couple years ahead of the Coyotes. I still think, and I was talking to Sean before this, what I think they're missing that veteran leadership. And I know Okposo is the guy there right now, but I think they need a little bit more of that sprinkled into this lineup in role player roles to help get this team pushed along.
And as Chris pointed out, Tage Thompson, 26th overall pick by none other than GM Bill Armstrong. So we see what Tage Thompson's become. We see that his path wasn't necessarily, this direct path, and we see what he is today. So it's a great reminder, I think, for all of us to hold on hope and to look at the prospects and maybe not know who is going to be the Tage Thompson of the Arizona Coyotes. Right. And then obviously Tage Thompson will be on the Arizona Coyotes on the Arizona line that I've been, planning.
Take a look at Connor Geekie if you want to get, sort of the blueprint. A big man who they think has a lot of skills, but big men sometimes take a little longer to develop. And Bill told me that they figured with Tage it would take a little longer. And, well, he's arrived. He's obviously arrived now.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Craig, we have to talk about Barrett Hayton. Did you have the chance to talk to him after the game?
We did. And it was, as you can imagine, a huge relief for him. And what I thought was cool about that goal, you saw the way his teammates celebrated with him. That was a bigger than normal celebration. So it's clear that his teammates really support him. But yeah, listen, Barrett has been doing other things. You have to focus on other parts of your game when you're not producing. We hear that a lot, but it was weighing on him. It was definitely weighing on him, and he admitted it. You want to produce. He expects himself to produce. And Petey's texting his bookie right now.
I know.
Petey, don't let me interview.
Going on.
But it was good.
Just you keep talking.
He needed it. I don't know if it's going to be the start of some production that we expected from the start of the season, but he really needed that one.
Did he express that?
Oh yeah. He didn't hide it. He said it. It definitely eats at you after a while because. Listen, he's a guy who's had a lot of success at the lower levels. We know what he did at World Juniors with that dramatic goal for Canada. He expects that of himself all the time. He expects to be a difference maker, and I really think he thought coming into the season that he was ready for a big season. It just hasn't happened from a production standpoint.
Especially we saw remember last year's training camp, and you thought, okay, this is the big step. He's really coming, and offensively, he's doing great. Then he gets hurt, and then he takes a step backwards. And this year, you thought, okay, maybe this is the year he's going to break out. And you've seen him around the rink too, Craig. You've seen him practice and stuff, and it's hard. Like he's down, and it's hard to not see it in him because he's not that kind of kid. And I think his exuberation and his celebration after that goal was 100% real, and his teammates' joy for him was real. And I think that this will really make it easier for him to play, and hopefully this really helps him offensively. I hope so.
Absolutely. Well, one thing this game did tonight is kept the tank on track, if you will, and a couple of teams contributed, one being the Anaheim Ducks, who won another game tonight against the Edmonton Oilers. The Columbus Blue Jackets, unfortunately, did not win. So if the Coyotes, they had their little hot streak there, cooled down a bit tonight, at least the other surrounding teams are putting together some wins, but Coyotes aren't quite where we would want them to be in terms of toward the bottom, but not so bad. And this game wasn't so bad. Like it really wasn't. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst we've seen. Oh yeah.
I got to say this as a lifelong Blackhawk fan, if Chicago gets the number 1 pick again in a year where there's a French, they got Patrick Kane and the Coyotes got Kyle Turris. If this happens again, somebody's got to do an investigation. Blackhawk can't win the lottery again.
And they can't win a game. Talk about win the lottery. They can't win a game.
Buddy, they're just terrible. Yeah,
I know.
They're tanking right. They're tanking the right way.
Oy. Well, Craig, do you have any final thoughts from tonight overall, or any other notes you want to bring to the people?
To the people. No, I just a couple stories coming up. Yeah, I do.
Stories
right?
coming up.
Yeah, a couple stories coming up. Doing something on the AHL's Pacific Division. The Tucson Roadrunners are going to play at Coachella Valley, the first ever home game at Coachella Valley, and it's interesting to trace the genesis of this division. And Petey, obviously, you and I talked to Ricky Olczyk for a while. He had a hand in this, so talked to him. I talked to Bill Armstrong sort of about the importance of having it, the structure of it. So I'll have a story on that. It's just amazing to see where the Pacific Division has come. It was this cool idea that a bunch of teams got together and wanted to do. The Coyotes actually weren't a part of the inaugural season, and now it's the biggest division in the AHL. So it's been a massive success. That's coming. And then for the Diehards on Monday, I have another prospect report where I will dive into, I mentioned Connor Geekie earlier. I'll look at Josh Doan, and I will look at University of Minnesota defenseman Cal Thomas, Petey.
And names you can pronounce at least. This
there you go. Easy.
No offense to the Euros, but you talked about it. We just brief, and I don't want to dwell on it because it's not the time or the place. But the American Hockey League and what a difference this Pacific Division has made. Because when you looked at what happened today with Jan Jenik getting called up and then playing in a game, this American League team used to be, well, it's been in so many different places,
Maine.
But Portland, Maine. Like
you can't just show up.
Can't get there from here. Like you can't get there. Like you know how long it gets from Portland, Maine to here? Like forget about it. You can't do it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. So it's such a big difference in the development of players that they're right in the backyard, gives guys better opportunity. And when they get here, they haven't traveled for 7 or 8 or 10 or 12-hour days, and they actually have a fair opportunity to compete and help in their development. So I think the Pacific Division, when it was just a thought, you're like, gosh, I don't know if this can really work. Can you have this many teams in California and in the Southwest? And is it really going to work? And I tell you what, every team is so thankful that their prospects are this close for the exact purpose we saw today, for their ability to be recalled. So I'm looking forward to reading that, Craig.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
And check out their interview too. I was with Rick Olczyk. It was really fun. I listened. You guys did a great job holding it down without me there. But it was a really great interview. It was really interesting to kind of hear about another, another franchise, another market, and then Coachella Valley, and another Southwest.
I think it was a good guest too.
Market. Yeah.
So if you haven't heard it, go back and listen. It was a lot of fun. Great, yeah. It was a fun interview.
All right, Craig. Well, we'll let you go. Please put your headphones away safely and make sure you don't lose.
I didn't know what you tell them. Do you put it in a good case or like
I'm gonna buy you an AirTag for your headphones and then a protective case.
Because they said the cat dragged him away. Like, how big is this cat? Like, my cat couldn't carry those things. I don't know.
I think that might have been an exaggeration, but
I heard the cat dragged him under the couch. That's a big cat.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah,
maybe
it's not my fault. I like that. It's not my fault. Yeah.
All right, Craig.
All right,
we'll let you go. Have a good night.
See you on Monday. Well, some of us will.
What?
I'll be gone.
Oh, you bailing on us?
I am. Okay. I'm going to Vegas.
It's a late night start too, buddy. 8:00
at home.
It's a bad week. Don't look at the schedule.
I'm not going to talk about it today. I'm not going to talk about it other than it'll just be me, you, and DP running that.
Yep.
All right,
guys.
Bye.
We'll see you later, Craig. Drive safe.
All right. Well, if you want to check out Craig's articles on gophnx.com, the majority are unlocked, but like you mentioned, there are some diehard level stories like the prospect report, which is always a great read because he really goes into depth about, he calls their coaches, their minor league coaches. You really get a full picture. So you have to be a diehard to read those. And there's a lot of benefits to becoming a diehard. 20% off merchandise, 20% off events, diehard only merchandise. Soon people will receive their diehard card, which we saw a picture of. These are amazing.
So they're coming out soon because we saw them. We physically saw them. So they're coming out soon, right?
Yeah.
They're really going to give them to these diehards.
Yes.
They're going to get those.
Yes. Free shirt or hat every year. So when you sign up, you get a free shirt or hat, and every year after that as well. So become a diehard today. Check out gophnx.com/diehard to join the family. And it's a great time to become a diehard PD for that 20%
Why?
off events.
What
Because
event?
we have a really exciting event
We do.
coming up in just under a month, actually. And it's the PHNX Tea Party. That's TEE Party, presented by our friends at Four Peaks at Dobson Ranch Golf Course, January 13th, 5:30 p.m. This is going to be an unbelievable event. We're renting out the entire driving range. Come hang out with Big Drive Energy, the PHNX crew, and fellow diehards for a night of golf, food, drinks, contests, prizes, and more. Our PHNX Suns crew will be hosting a watch party for Suns versus
So this is
Timberwolves.
everybody. It's not just Coyotes. It's everybody.
No, this is everybody.
All the diehards.
All the diehards.
Good music.
Good music, heaters,
Yeah,
Food.
heaters. Well, we heard the music bumping when we were there.
great playlist.
Great. Let's
Great
go.
playlist. And if you've never been to Dobson Ranch,
Yeah, I was pretty
it's
impressed.
really, really, really
It's
cool.
not what I
and they're
thought.
renting out the entire driving range.
Yeah, and we keep saying driving range like
But it's not.
It's not.
It's like you're
It's like
playing a
video
virtual
game. It's
course.
virtual video game golfing.
But it's not.
Yes, but it's not.
You just have to come. Just come and see it
just
for
go.
yourself. And Four Peaks will be out there providing beer samples and swag. What are you drinking tonight?
I've got the kill lifter.
Love it.
Yeah, of
As
course.
always.
As
That's your
always.
go-to. That's absolutely your go-to. I was at a holiday party tonight. All the beer was Four Peaks beer. Obviously, duh. So check the link in the description to reserve your spot right now. And for our diehards, check Discord for your special link where you'll save 20% on this awesome event. And Kenny said, chat, don't forget to hit the like button. Please hit the like button on this video. If you're here live, if you're watching this later, hit that like button. And if you're listening on audio, go ahead and leave us a review. Really means a lot. And I like to go and read them. So you can say something nice or give feedback or whatever you'd like. But leaving a review on our audio platforms is extremely helpful to us. And like I said, check out the audio only episode that Petey and Craig did with Rick Olchek. It was a really great interview. Sean, I want to give you the spotlight for a second, give you a chance to talk about your experience tonight, seeing your boy Tage, but also getting to be at Mullett Arena. Just any takeaways? What was your experience like tonight?
Yeah, I mean, first, like I had tweeted, there was 4 Sabres fans, but they're all wearing Bills gear. I would say there was as much, if not more, Bills gear there than there was
Wow.
Sabres gear. Like everyone that was wearing like a Sabres jersey was wearing a Bills hat. So go Bills. But like I said, they sat down, and the first thing they said, the dad was like, "This is sick." Like you could tell that the Sabres fans were enjoying the experience there, so that was cool. I mean, Craig summed up everything about Tage. Like that is a giant human being, and he's really, really good at hockey. Like really good at hockey. So seeing him live was impressive. But it was the first time I had seen a Coyotes game at Mullett. So
Yeah.
like, it was an awesome.
What did you
experience.
think of the NHL experience versus the college experience?
It was cool. Like it wasn't that different than the college experience, which was cool because it's different for an NHL experience. Obviously,
Yeah.
Like, it was like a really cool environment. Arizona fans are slow to get the game, so it took a second for it to fill out, but it did eventually, and it was cool. Like it felt like a home game too. Like I know some of these games have been tough because the away fans have outnumbered the home fans, and there were a good number of Sabres fans, but the Coyotes fans outnumbered them vocally at the very least. So
awesome.
it was a very cool experience on both sides of the coin.
Yeah, and I think that home ice advantage for the Coyotes is real.
Yeah,
now.
it is. It is. And I know they lost tonight, but like we said, it was close until the last few minutes, and it was a competitive game. Yeah, they were in it the
There's
entire
only
time.
been one game at the Mall that they really
Yeah,
struggled,
the
and that was
Dallas
Dallas
game.
game.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've been every single game, and that's some of the best. We're talking Boston, they beat. Rangers were tight. Buffalo Sabres, top scoring team in the league.
Islanders.
The Islanders, they're beating and competing and staying with good teams at the Mall. So that's great to see.
Blatantly asinine is just coming for Sean tonight. It's cracking me up.
Hey, nothing can't get me down. It's tough when your teams are losers. I mean, that's tough. But
They're winners tonight.
they're winners tonight.
Winners.
And I'll say this because blatantly asine's coming hard at him. I have told Sean on several occasions that he's the best dressed employee.
Sean is
at
very
PHNX.
fashionable.
I say that. Yeah, he is. He's sharp
He
dresser.
is.
I say it all the time.
Yep.
And that's not on camera. I say that all the time.
Yep.
True story.
And I second that.
I
It's
did not
true.
say that about Shayne. What? Can you say that?
Oh
Shayne
my
catches-
God.
I'm not gonna disagree with you, but that is such an unnecessary stray.
I'm sorry.
Oh my
Shayne.
God. All right. Well, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Coyotes. We mentioned the 8 o'clock home game on Monday against the Canadiens are coming to town.
Last year's Battle of the Basement.
Yeah, now
Revisited.
it's it's not quite.
No.
We'll get that in January when the Coyotes play the Ducks. And then Wednesday in Vegas, Friday against LA. In that Monday game, I mentioned this yesterday, but Sean and Petey will be co-hosting the post-game show because I will be in Las Vegas. So
it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. And I agree with Roaring Fork. Can you imagine Canadian national media coming back to the Mullet again?
Oh, for the Canadians?
Yeah. So we're going to have to hear that.
And then
we're going to have to go through that
the Leafs are later this month,
Yeah.
I think on the 27th.
So it's going to be the same thing. We're going to have to hear it all over again from Canadian media about the Mullet and all that blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to go through it again.
Yeah.
And I now I feel bad about Shayne. I'm sorry, Shayne. That was uncalled for, Shayne. I'm sorry. I hope we're still friends.
It's all good.
Because I know he's listening. He's not listening.
I did
tonight.
send him the link at the start of the show.
Did you?
Yeah, I
So
said.
maybe he's listening.
Yeah, because I told his friends to
Shayne.
watch. All good, all good. So tune in on Monday because Sean and Petey are gonna hold it down, and I'll probably be drunk commenting from Las Vegas.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
That'll be a good.
It'll
one.
be late too. Like that's
but I'm in the Pacific time zone.
Oh, so you're an hour earlier. So it'll be Coyotes After Dark with Sean and Petey.
Yeah.
All right, I got that vibe. I can get that. I'm there. Yeah.
Off the rails as per usual. Per usual.
Fun.
And then last but not least, let's check out the punch card. One more little step towards
It's just one day closer to the draft in Nashville.
In Nashville.
Just saying.
A boy howdy.
A boy howdy.
We haven't said boy howdy. We haven't said boy howdy.
I am
enough
going to
tonight.
remember I brought the cowboy hat?
Yeah.
Can I bring the cowboy hat to the draft?
Yeah.
Petey, you're gonna have to get like if we're going to the draft, I'm getting myself like a legitimate cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Like, we got to go get real ones.
There is a place. I'm taking you. I got a place.
Is it Tootsie's?
It is. Well, we're going to Tootsie's, but right next to Tootsie's, and on the corner, there's a bar called Legends. It's where legends play, obviously, but it's old timey country. We're getting into the old school Johnny Cash. Like people play old country there. It's right on the corner, and between Legends and Tootsie's, there is a little store. It's kind of a convenience store, but it's also a Western wear store, and they sell hats.
Perfect.
And DP and I are going for the real cowboy hat.
I think
and
I
I'm
could
in.
rock the hell out of a nice black cowboy hat that
100%.
fits me properly. I think I would look.
I am vowing it right now, DP. I am buying. You and I are going shopping. We'll social the whole thing, and we're
I love
getting
it.
You got to
cowboy
get
hats.
some cowboy boots too, man.
But
I love it.
no, I'm skipping the boots because it's a lot of walking.
I have fake cowboy boots.
That's a tough walk, but we're literally next door to Tootsie's, so we're getting the hats. We're going next door to Tootsie's, like
Perfect.
immediately.
Say
Can't wait.
less, Petey.
And as Charles and blatantly asked, and I said HK till
GG,
draft
oh
day,
boy.
and truly because now with that
Yeah.
plan, I can't wait.
I can't even like.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and yeah, it's. yeah.
Chris said, Leah, defend us Canucks. We're not all media brainwashed. It's true. It's true. We just like to poke fun. And I say that as the resident Canadian of the show. But if you want to give a good showing to the Canadian media on Monday, go to that game. I know it's an 8 o'clock game, but go. A lot of people are off work. It's like the week before Christmas.
How are you going to get tickets this late, though?
I mean, check out Game Time. I'm going to go to the Vegas Golden Knights game in Vegas.
Do you have tickets?
No, because I'm waiting till the day of the game. Because
And where are you going to get them?
Game Time. Obviously. Check out the Game Time app. Cheapest place to buy tickets, especially when you wait till the last minute. You can save up to 60% off, which is unbelievable. So definitely check it out for Monday for the Canadians Coyotes game. I'm going to be checking it out in Vegas. And the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link below in the description. And if you want to kill some time before that 8 o'clock start, you need a place to go in Tempe. Obviously, we always recommend Four Peaks, but I have another recommendation for you, and it's Illegal Pete's. It's one of my favorite places ever. It's so underrated. It is so amazing. It's on Mill Ave. They have burritos, burrito bowls. Their queso out of this world. And they have a bar with unbelievable margaritas. And I'm not just saying that, like, I drank so many Illegal Pete's margaritas when I went to the U of A because there's an Illegal Pete's on University down there. Unbelievable. So we're so excited because Illegal Pete's is now part of the PHNX family.
Fantastic.
And when you right now, listen, if you're sitting here, it's like Christmas Eve is a week from today. If you don't have a gift for people, like head on over to Illegal Pete's right now because if you purchase $100 in gift cards, they'll throw you a $25 one on the house.
That's free money.
$100 in gift cards, give it to your family, give it to your friends, and then keep the $25 one for yourself, or bonus gift card to give away to your family and friends. And then be on the lookout for a few informal happy hours with our PHNX Sun Devils crew, which of course includes Sean and Shayne, so you can apologize about.
I'll apologize in person. I feel bad. I feel shame.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's all we got.
I would say that to Chris because by the way, when I was a kid, and it's a long time ago, TV was black and no, it wasn't black and white. My favorite sweater in the National Hockey League was the red, white, and blue of La Habitat of the Montreal Canadiens.
I mean, it's iconic.
The Montreal Canadiens, the red, the dark. Yvan Cornway, Guy Lafleur, Ken Dryden. Yeah, that's my jam. So and my dad's Canadian, so I can. It's all good. So we made up. So hopefully I can make up.
Yeah, there's a full truce until the Toronto Maple Leafs game.
Yeah, then it's all bets are off.
Yeah,
unless they trade us Matthews, then they're forgiven.
And nice.
Can they sweep them again this year, like they did last year?
I would love that.
Just saying.
So much.
Did it last year?
I would love it so much.
How'd that work out? No, it was a good game. We'll leave it with this. It was a great game. 5-2 isn't the real score. It's a 3-2 game for me in my book, and they're still playing incredibly well at the Mullett. They're competing at the Mullett. We'll see if they can continue that on Monday. They'll probably take a pretty relaxing day tomorrow after working this hard and a pretty tough schedule coming up. Absolutely. Well, that's all for us tonight. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Follow us on Twitter. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's 10:30. Enjoy the rest of your weekend is what I meant to say. Obviously, I'm tired I'm tired from a back-to-back too. All right. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Leah Merrill. He's at S Peters Hockey. Sean at Sean_pause. Craig, of course, at Craig S Morgan. And you can follow PHNX Coyotes on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. There it is. Fantastic. And Petey and Sean, we'll see you on Monday. Bye, guys.